One of my favorite things is when a piece of media that I'm experiencing for the first time absolutely destroys me. When it changes my outlook on life and I can't see the world in the same way again. It's a gift to be touched so deeply by a story that you never let it go. For more and more people, that gift has come in the form of a video game. It makes sense. Games are the most profitable entertainment industry by far. They've surpassed the revenue of the music and movie industries combined, and altogether they've left the world of theater in the dust. In making comparisons, though, it can easily be overlooked that any of these mediums have the potential to completely change the course of society. That's what Joseph Pulitzer saw when he cemented the creation of his prizes in his will. The value of art and writing in the shaping of an American culture. We're a long way removed from his death way back in 1911. Since then, the very landscape of arts and journalism has changed, and with it, the prize categories as well. What once was 8 categories has grown to 23, and what was an even balance between journalism and the arts is now quite lopsided. So my question today is, why not add more? The arts are always in need of encouragement in today's world, and we have mediums today that Pulitzer could never have even dreamed of. The debate over whether to include movies, for example, has been raging since at least 1997, but today, we're leaving films on the table. Video games are seen as young, and just like film, from the perspective of the Pulitzers, they long for legitimacy. The vast majority of games are consumed lightly, as escapism, as detritus that keeps the mind from thinking anything real. We don't hold Fortnite to the same standard as Angel's Bone by Du Yoon, for example. Because of the proliferation and capitalization of the medium, the weight of storytelling in games is numbed and ignored. But who in their right mind thinks games can't be high art? Don't believe me? Let me show you. The Pulitzer Prize isn't awarded for the quality of art alone, though. In the original will, a separate allocation was made for arts and journalism students in the form of fellowships, to allow them to continue their studies in Europe, but professional prizes were different. Prizes were awarded for exemplary standards in reporting, for representing American values and encapsulating the atmosphere of American life, for commanding an audience. In short, it had to pass the eye test. Pieces of drama weren't rewarded just because they were good. They were rewarded because they, like the most relevant journalism of the time, said something that was critical to hear and everlasting in its value. Music, drama, fiction, they all gained their accolades for tackling elements of the modern condition, for being groundbreaking in their field of focus or in their medium itself. The prize rewards innovation, excellence, and relevance to the world of today. And in the world of video games, the most popular entertainment medium, the most immersive and interactive storytelling vessel the world has ever seen, the medium longing for legacy to be recognized as a legitimate driver of modern culture, I see potential. Games don't need language to tell an amazing story, or at least, they don't need ours. In The Last Guardian, you get one method of communication as a young boy trying to herd a massive but equally young beast. You bond with it, fall in love with it, tear your hair out as you try to get it to just go where you're pointing, dread the thought of losing it, and then it's gone. All without a word of English. That doesn't mean, however, that they can't use it effectively. Imagine the feeling that sits forever in your heart when you, as a young teenager in real life, venture out of Possum Springs in Night in the Woods to romp around in the titular woods, to knife fight with Greg, only to learn afterwards that he is anxious about his role in his relationship with his boyfriend, and aware of his mental health struggles, but unable to magically cure himself. To find, as a young teen, from a video game, that a gay relationship isn't just aesthetics and sex, but a deeply emotional endeavor between real people with real feelings. Or imagine being tasked with giving painkillers and mouthwashing to your grievously wounded captain on the crashed ship the Tulpar, taking in his skinless, bleeding, half-dead form, only to learn that, despite what your crewmates say, you are the villain. To find out, as your friends die and the truth unfolds, just how fucked up a single person can be.
I miss her, Max.
Life is Strange probably belongs on the short list of what I believe constitutes a Pulitzer Prize-winning video game. In it, you follow Max, an 18-year-old photography student who returns to Arcadia Bay in coastal Oregon after years estranged from her best friend, Chloe Price. The two don't quite hit it off. With Max's unique powers of time reversal, you explore the definition of potential in a world chock full of worst possible outcomes. Working with Chloe, you solve the disappearance of Rachel Amber, bring a serial kidnapper and exploiter to justice, and even go back in time to stop a lethal car accident, only for the person you're trying to save to end up so much worse for wear. Any of these stories on its own would be accolade-worthy, but the fact that you have the responsibility of choosing between them, of navigating how to save a girl from suicide, of deciding between saving your newfound love or the town you grew up in from total destruction, that's what makes this game truly special. Life is Strange is an amazing game, and I hold it very dear to my heart. But winning a Pulitzer Prize is a different beast entirely. Should a video game win the prize, it would need to meet the following criteria. It has to be an American-developed production, or about America. It has to center real topics and encapsulate the atmosphere in which American life is led, and in the long term, it has to really, really mean something. A game detailing the real history of the nation, akin to its nonfiction written counterparts, or a satire critiquing the culture over the substance of life in America, would equally have a shot at the prize. So would a game that breaks down the boundaries of the genre while still telling a poignant story, just as Damn by Kendrick Lamar did when it became the first hip-hop music ever to take home the Pulitzer Prize. So, if there was any one perfect game that deserved a Pulitzer.
I'm sorry, guys. It's not good.
That Dragon Cancer is a heartbreaking autobiography created by Ryan and Amy Green. But beyond that, this game strikes you to your core. The game takes you through the last 3 years of the life of little Joel Green, who, at just 12 months old, was diagnosed with cancer. Given only 4 months to live, it was a bitter miracle that he managed to survive the chemotherapy and be declared cancer-free, only to have the tumors return at the age of 4. It was guaranteed to be terminal. There is no fiction, no exaggeration, no story more painful than the truth. We see Ryan question faith, his own humanity, and his relationship with his wife as he struggles to find any way to cope with his grief. A combination of vignettes, from hospital wagon rides to sailing a boat in the flooding headspace of the consultation room, delivers a life-changing experience to the viewer. Beyond this, the authors of the game worked further to help raise funds to help other children with cancer, and in return, hundreds of real notes from cancer survivors were included in the game. That Dragon Cancer teaches us that empathy is a very human response, and even when we cannot begin to comprehend the scale of another person's grief, we can at least begin to feel it with them. At the time of writing, Joel Green would be 16 years old.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you. and I'm sorry about that.
What Remains of Edith Finch is also a story about death. Our Edith Finch, 17 and very pregnant, returns to her family home after the death of her mother to learn about the curse that her family has experienced for generations. For some fateful reason, every single person in her family has passed away early from unfortunate circumstances, all due to negligence or forgetfulness or downright bad luck. We begin with Molly, who, after being sent to bed hungry, dreamed she was this starving, shape-shifting creature, and who, after eating non-edibles like her own toothpaste and hollyberries, died of food poisoning. Calvin fell off a cliff from his swing set. Sam was thrown from a cliff by a deer. Gus was sucked away in a storm. Barbara, a child star, was cannibalized by her fans in a home invasion. Lewis, a factory worker, did nothing but chop the heads of fish off all day. After long enough, he began daydreaming. Soon, those daydreams spiraled into full-on delusions, and with a grand coronation in his head, he stuck his neck under his own fish chopper. Walter, terrified of the curse, spent 30 years living out the exact same day in a bunker. Every day, a monster grumbled beneath him. And on the last day of his life, he broke down the walls with a sledgehammer, walking along the train tracks to his freedom. Only to be so absorbed by his surroundings, he didn't notice the train. What Remains of Edith Finch is a fantastical elegy for modern families in America, and it takes place on Orcas Island in Washington state, all within the family's chaotic hodgepodge house. Once Edith Finch leaves, all she can hope for is that the curse is broken. If you've ever found yourself blinking through the tears, you might want to reconsider, as the final Pulitzer contending game on my shortlist is Before Your Eyes, developed by Goodbye World Games.
Try closing your eyes. See if you can remember.
In a groundbreaking use of eye-tracking technology, the game's only controls are your eye movements and your blinks. You use these mechanics to retell the story of Benjamin Bryn to the ferryman on the way to the afterlife. Originally, a beautiful tale of art and aspiration is spun as you gain proficiency with piano before skipping rehearsals to be with your childhood crush, Chloe. Each scene goes by too fast, and before you know it, it's over, since the only thing keeping you in the moment is your ability to not blink. You fail the recital, but manage to reconnect with your crush after gaining success in the art world, then live a happy life from there on out. The ferryman scolds you for lying. In fact, this story you told is all made up, as you are, surprise, another dying kid. A grave illness grasped you before you could really talk. At times, all you could do was blink to communicate. Despite this, the love that you had with Chloe remains. She comes back to talk to you in your sickbed. Even then, it's too late. The life you've been building slowly falls away. The medication isn't enough. Eventually, you close your eyes for the last time. Despite it all, you've given the one thing you can give to everyone around you. Hope. Considering this to be enough, the ferryman decides to let you pass on. The Pulitzer Prize has never been granted to a video game. Perhaps it never will. There are some films that have been adapted from Pulitzer-winning works, and documentaries such as 20 Days in Mariupol have won the prize as well. The exact requirements and guidelines of the Pulitzer Committee are subjective, but they still attempt to follow Joseph Pulitzer's original will. Because of that, unless the Pulitzer's board chooses to expand to reflect a changing world of arts, the Pulitzers will remain a prize for old art, the kind that existed at the time of its founder. Still, as the arts have developed alongside journalistic mediums, the option will forever be available to add video games or interactive media as a category for the prize. Alongside it, perhaps rewards for film and dance are in order as well. It can't be argued that video games tell amazing stories. It can't be argued that they are anything other than high art when they mean to be. But there's no Pulitzer for a painting. And games and movies have award sections of their own. Look at the Oscars, look at the Game Awards. Many of the games mentioned here today actually have won their category in Games for Impact, a section of the Game Awards that rewards specifically what I'm evaluating in the Pulitzers question here. The point of the matter is, if any game that exists deserved to win a Pulitzer Prize, there's a high chance it would have done so already. Public service is a flexible category of the Pulitzers that could potentially accept a cutting-edge documentary-style game. Fiction is a category that, while more specifically designed for books in the genre, could move over for a categorically incredible screenplay. Poetry, as well, if the game's writing fits the bill. We live in a world that is constantly combining and reshaping its categories for art, and as more and more games are created, it's only a matter of time before someone at least attempts to submit a game for the Pulitzer Prize. When that happens, it's up for the board to decide. Do games deserve their own category in the Pulitzers? Based on the artistry we've seen? I think so. It should be mentioned that of the 3 games I believe deserved Pulitzer Prizes, the only connecting thread, besides Dying Children, was the fact that they resonated with me. I am only one culture and one skin tone of a multitude, and more legitimacy for my argument may be found through other voices. Ones who can advocate for amazing games and narratives based on race, on gender identity, on heritage, games that I've never even heard of, but is entirely within the wheelhouse of the Pulitzer Prizes to award for their groundbreaking progress. Many Black and queer stories have been highlighted in recent years, especially in drama, and that is a really good thing. Adding categories not only helps open opportunities for artists who want to tell their stories in different mediums, it grants legitimacy and history to those very mediums. The goal of the Pulitzer Prizes was to pedestalize groundbreaking art and journalism, and in a world ever drowning in cheap, reproducible, low-effort art, why not allocate something a little extra special for those who deserve it?